Welcome, listeners, to Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour, hosted by Rene Bravo and Bryan Quevedo. If you are a new listener of the show, please follow us on our socials on Instagram at Keepin' With The Nerds and Twitter at Keepin' With Nerd. Our podcasts are recorded in Whittier, California, and are posted on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts every Wednesday at 11:30. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Ready for the weekly podcast segments where we come into the office or our
What's this? Wait, this is the Hall of Nerdum, or is it the Hall of Geek?
Hall of Nerds.
Hall of Nerds.
Mine is the Fortress of Geekitude. Yeah.
I'm recording.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Oh man, it's been a week, man. It's been such a week. I'm back to working both jobs at once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, well, not at once, excuse me. Both jobs, 3 days out of the week.
Okay.
So it's one job in the morning, then I go in the evening, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's been kind of like, it makes the days go by faster. I don't mind it. But man, has a lot happened this last week.
Yes, it has.
January 2021 has not been easy.
No, coming out of 2020 and the transition of it has been very dicey right now.
I mean, it wasn't as impactful as last year, at least.
No.
Like, we'll address what happened. Not to address.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later once all this starts to kind of like.
Yeah, we'll talk about what happened this week later on when everything's kind of settled down a bit, because it's still kind of.
It's still fresh.
It's still fresh, and I think that our listeners don't want to listen to that at the moment.
Nah. Our thoughts on it and stuff. Not yet. It's still, I want to let it like simmer a little bit and see where it goes, just because better to not rationally jump into some stuff that, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. But no, January, man, 2021 has just not eased up.
No, it hasn't.
A lot of people, it's just, at least on my feed, because I follow a lot of media and stuff, just a lot of celebrities just passing away.
That's it, yeah.
Over and over. Yeah.
I think Dr. Dre's hospitalized, isn't he?
Yeah, but he put it on his Instagram that he was doing okay. So that was kind of like weird and subtle. And then what was her name? Mitch from That 70s Show? The actress?
Oh, yeah.
Tori, whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was pronounced dead, then not, then dead. That's like a weird thing to do.
It really is.
And I've heard like yes and no on like how and why it was happening, but it's like,
I think that happened to what's his name? The guy that was the original the first actor in Blue's Clues. What's his name? Steve.
No, his was different.
No, but he got like alerts on his phone or something like that, or he was watching like some sort of YouTube video. Then someone said that he died. And
yes.
He's like, no.
Yeah. And there was an interview with him. I don't know, maybe you might have seen it, but he was saying that it was kind of weird. He only was on the sidelines out of this.
Yeah.
He just said that I was more interested in just looking at from the side and just laughing at how people were making these wild conspiracy theories about me. But supposedly, like, the rumors were that he got into really heavy drugs. He went into rehab, then he overdosed and died, and he's been dead for a while. He's like, no, I've literally just been here living.
I just stopped doing Blue's Clues. That was it. Like, I love how people will go to that extent where it's like someone of that stature of just doing one thing in their entire career, and then when they stop doing it, they just go into this whole spiel of like, oh, they must have gotten to like some bad stuff or something like that.
People will do anything to just make something up like that. It's ridiculous.
It kind of reminds me of a certain leader right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, that's 100% true. 100% true. How something like that could just spawn into just something tremendous that can lead into, bizarre and really inappropriate things sometimes.
Yeah, people acting out.
Yeah. On lighter news, though.
Yes, definitely.
Well, going back to the whole Steve and Blue's Clues things, I've always liked the fact that because like for me, when I think of like childhood shows like that, Blue's Clues or Power Rangers, things like that, I've always liked it growing up. And seeing these actors that once portrayed these characters come back and say like, yeah, it was like some of the coolest times of my life.
Yeah.
Steve actually came back with what's his name? His brother's name, Joe. Or not his brother, but his brother.
Yeah, his brother. Obviously, they're not brothers if you look at them.
But they actually went back and did a reunion episode with the new one.
With the new guy.
Yeah.
I actually like that. That was really cool.
It's
that was a good way to kind of like bring in the new guy and then respect it. Like, even though it's a new guy and a new Blue, I think, or something.
No, it's still
the same Blue.
Blue is still there.
He just has
She's still there.
He just has a new animation.
You know that Blue's a girl, right?
I never knew that, actually.
You didn't know that?
I never knew Blue was a girl.
I didn't find out until, because maybe like, I think I stopped watching it after Steve left. I don't know how old I was, but I remember going home and just crying, watching him leave. I know it was fake, but still, it was like, it was like heartfelt.
He was going off to college.
Yeah. But who is that aimed for? Because Blue's Clues is such a child, like it's such a like child show, kid show, such a kid show that like I wouldn't tune in to watch it, but I would have for that particular reason.
I think I was watching it early on when I was younger, but I never kept up with it. If it was on, I would watch it. I never had Nickelodeon as a kid. We had like all the basic satellite, just the antenna channels.
Nick
like,
was on like that other package,
yeah,
like the one above
package.
it, right?
We didn't even have cable or satellite. We literally just watched the local broadcasting networks, which would be just basically channel 13 through like 4. And then you get like PBS on top of that as well. So, but whenever I go to like a relative's house or something like that, I would go on put on Nick or something like that, or Disney Channel, and just watch whatever was available at that time to watch. And if it was Blue's Clues, I think it was. Yeah, I would watch Blue's Clues. I also loved watching Little Bear. That was my favorite show.
That's another good show.
I love Little Bear so much.
Funny how we're talking about stuff about nostalgia.
Because it's a happier time. That's why.
I mean, yeah.
What's the one thing that gets you all nostalgic? Like, what's the one thing that just like you're boom back into your childhood?
Video game music.
Video game music?
Specifically anything from Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why you said it and I had to think about it, but then it was just kind of like an easy answer for me afterwards. I was like, oh wait, no, it's that.
Music is always like that. For me, it's either music or certain like scents, like smells.
Smells.
Yeah.
I've heard that it's never really. Oh, my mom's cooking, but that's about it.
And certain perfumes would like literally shot me into like a little kid, because sometimes I will re-smell a perfume that I smelled like when I was in elementary school, because like my teachers would wear it or something like that, and just boom, I'll be like in my second grade class.
Ratatouille.
Whoa. Oh yeah, like that. She's like literally just like that. But it's speaking of nostalgia. Actually, it's funny. I saw a TikTok, which is another thing we should announce, that we have it ready, because I actually have some.
You
ideas.
announce it.
Okay.
I made it.
You made
it.
it.
I spitefully did it. I literally was bored at work one day. I'm like,
I thought you were kind of down. There's some videos I want you to do that I have some ideas saved up.
I mean, look. Okay, we'll put it this way. So, okay,
announcement. Announcement, guys.
guys.
We officially here at Keeping Up with the Nerds have a TikTok account. Bryan doesn't want to do it, but it'd be good. It'd be good little things for us to do. We could do little skits and stuff like that. If we don't like short little skits that we wouldn't normally would put on the YouTube channel, because they're super short, less than like 30 seconds or something like that.
Plus, TikTok's a popular platform, so if we get known on that, then they'll know about this.
That's true.
More advertisement means a Patreon and an office later down the line.
So let me see.
It's actually keeping up with the nerds.
It's keeping up with the whole thing.
The whole thing. Somehow, it worked. It worked. It's legitimately keeping up with the nerds. That's all it is. So you guys can follow us on TikTok at Keeping Up with the Nerds. We need to work on the profile and probably add some stuff up, which will probably happen this week. Rene will take a look at it since he knows TikTok a lot more. You're going to be the one showing me how to make all this stuff happen, because you're already in charge of the Instagram and Twitter pages. I have to be the one in charge of TikTok and take that.
So as I was talking about TikTok, so we have TikTok. So we're going to be doing a couple of videos actually maybe tonight. I want to do a few tonight. So by the time these will probably be up soon. Some of them will be funny. Watch, you'll like it. It's because one of them actually has to deal with nostalgia. But this guy made an account called Time Capsule Bag 1, and he just literally puts childhood in these boxes and sends them out to you. He'll put like a VHS tape of whatever one of like Toy Story or a Goofy movie. He made a Jurassic Park one where it's just, and then he finds like the old Happy Meal toys from that said theme and will throw them in your box as well too.
Can we do the intro? Because I got a little short story to tell you.
Okay, we'll do the intro. We're like 10 minutes in.
Yeah, that's why. Always with this, we're trying to do better, and we end up not.
We always have like a 10-minute discussion before said intro.
All right, so are we ready to start?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Here we go.
Hello, citizens. Welcome to Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour, coming to you from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, aiming to be Whittier's #1 podcast for all things nerdy. I'm your host, Bryan, Rene.
And welcome to the show, issue number 30!
Dang, 30 issues.
30 issues.
And 2 annuals.
Technically 32.
32.
But we can get those annuals and say, no!
33, because we have zero issue.
Our preview issue. Our first issue that was test run and stuff like that. You excited to try this key lime bang?
So Bryan got these key lime pie bangs. Hold on, he took a sip.
Whoa. It tastes like what a key lime Jolly Rancher would taste like. It's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
It's subtle. All right, I got a story for you. Okay. Speaking about this whole nostalgia thing. Nostalgia is the theme of the show.
It is.
We didn't even plan how we were going to transition into this.
Now we know the name of this episode.
This is why we work good together. So, we record this show on a Friday. So technically today is what, January 8th?
January 8th. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, my fiance sent me something on Instagram. Here in Whittier, there's a shop called The Wishing Well.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, a really cool little toy shop here in Uptown Whittier. If you're around the area, go visit them. They carry a lot of cool toys. They recently...
sodas.
Oh, Soda Pop is like something
Pops,
a lot of really cool stuff. They have this really cool sarsaparilla Soda Pop, which I really recommend. It's like root beer, but it's sweeter root beer. It's pretty good.
Okay.
But they recently like upped like some of the toys and stuff that they have on there. If you're around the area, go check them out. They're really cool, really friendly people, really creative with how they showcase a lot of the stuff. But she sent me a post from The Wishing Well, and it was these odd ones out little plushie keychains. You know who the Odd One Out is?
No.
He's an animator.
Oh, okay.
If I show you one of his
I probably
Odd Ones Out.
Is that a YouTuber?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I know what you mean.
So I have one of his plushies, or we went to go buy one of the plushies over there because they had them there. So we get into the store, and the whole plan was just to get the plushies, get a soda pop, walk out. Then my fiance turns around, she's like, "Oh, they have these!" And I'm like, "What?" The mini brands.
They have mini brands?
Okay, so why am I the only one that doesn't know about this? So
I live with a 9-year-old, that's why. So that's why I know about mini brands. And girls on TikTok.
So I had no idea what this
you're not
was.
On TikTok either.
No.
So guys, if
TikTok's gonna open up a world.
So basically, if some of you don't know, mini brands are basically like these little mystery balls that you get, and you open them
oranges.
up. They're oranges or something like that, and then you open them up, and they're legitly marketed, licensed, or I don't know if they're licensed. They're actually mini like grocery store items. Like you'll get like a little pack
licensed.
because they're like little pack of ramen. You can get like a bottle of Heinz ketchup, and they're super tiny and cute. So the reason why I know about it is because also my girlfriend's on TikTok, but then I also live with a 9-year-old who is my niece that watches them nonstop and stuff, and she loves getting them as well too and stuff.
So it's cute.
It's cute because they're so small.
They're tiny. I think they are licensed.
They also come with little shelves you can build.
Yes, I didn't even know about that. But now my fiance's like, "Oh my god, I need to get them. We got every time I go to Target, I'm gonna buy another one."
She
I'm
got
like,
the bug.
My god, dude.
Those
but
are
I can't
hard to
hate her.
find.
They are.
Yeah.
But the Wishing Well has them.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. I can't judge her on that because I'm.
I love how you said that. I can't judge her on that. Knowing very
can't.
well who you are.
Do you know who I am? I literally have shelves on shelves of like useless collectibles sometimes. You've been there.
You have a glass picture with all your Stormtroopers and Star Wars and pop memorabilia on there with your Phase 1 and Phase 2 collection.
Oh, that's
Blu-ray.
right. I forgot those were a thing. And I have them.
They're in your
I forgot.
They're in a glass fixture, guys, which is cut, like, I want to say locked and keyed.
No, yes, it is. Yes.
And then also on next to his computer is all his video game memorabilia as well too, from all his collector's editions. Guys. This is why we can't you can't judge his girlfriend. Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because they're cute. But it's
Luckily,
also
they're
like
small, so they don't take up room in your apartment.
But like, how do you display them? You need to get more and hopefully get like a shopping cart, a little.
So for Christmas, my niece did get this whole storefront for mini brands. It's everything comes with a little.
Oh, you can buy the storefront.
Yeah, you can buy like the store or something. It comes with a little freezer. You can put all your mini brands in. Excuse me. And shelves, you can put all the other stuff, and it comes with shopping carts as well too. And you can go actually not pay them, but like do the cash, through the cashier thing.
Can we make something? This doesn't cost that much to make. Mm-hmm. So you and I need to legitimately sit down, and we need to think about what we can sell people. That'd be the next biggest thing.
YouTubers do it all the time.
Yeah. So if they can do it, why can't we do it?
We can do it.
We're smart.
Yeah, we're smart.
We're smart people.
We're smart peoples.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll probably come on with something.
So that, I mean, we've been thinking about what to do in terms of like, making T-shirts for the brand and stuff like that. We want to grow, but it's just that's
mini brands. Can you imagine just the idea of that, of someone just like in their house and they're like, this would be cuter, smaller. It's just like,
you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna walk around the apartment now. I'm just gonna think like, what if I say something really stupid? I'm just gonna write it down and probably sell it, make millions. Like you said it right now. It's like, what if this can of Bang was smaller?
Yeah.
Now that guy's a millionaire.
Basically,
dude,
and then
the man, woman, whatever.
Yeah. Did you see the rare items on those? Apparently, some of the rare ones are like if you get a gold bottle of ketchup or a gold bottle of soy sauce and stuff like that.
Gold bottle of A1 sauce.
A1 sauce, yeah.
Crap. I hate A1 sauce. It's gross.
So,
like you're just out of that transition.
No, but okay. So there's also, it goes beyond that too, where basically my niece also gets like these other ones where it's it's like mini brands, but they're not. Have you ever heard of Shopkins?
No, and I don't want it.
Shopkins are basically like foods, but they're made out of like little characters as well. They have like faces and cheeks and mouths and stuff like that. So like it's like a bowl full of ice cream. So think of a bowl full of ice cream with a cute face and stuff like on it.
Do you have a notebook? I'm gonna literally start writing things down. Like as soon as it comes in my head.
I'll tell you this: someone had the idea to combine the two, basically, where it's a mini brand with a Shopkin, where it's a mini brand and you open it up and it's container and it's a face. So they made a banquet chicken nuggets one, and you open it and it's a little tray of chicken nuggets with a face and mouth on it as well too. And you have to put these little things in water because you don't know what they look like. So you like put them in water so the water breaks apart and then it reveals what it is and stuff. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
They're going.
That's insane, man. Okay, 2021 is the year you and I make something.
Yeah. Like, it's funny how they're like trying to market to these kids. When I'm thinking in my head, like, remember the thing for us? It was like those little things that you put in water and they just grow.
Yeah, the little dino. It's like a pill.
Like a shrinky. What are they called? Shrinky dinks? No, it was shrinky dinks for something else. Where
I know what it is though. You're talking about these little pills. Mm-hmm. They're tiny little. They would be like red or blue or something like that, and you put them in water.
Yeah,
and
you
then it like dissolves.
At the 99-cent store. Or something like that.
Into like dinosaurs, dino sponges or something like that.
For some reason, they never thought of putting mystery bags and stuff because that's what really got kids into it. Is just the mystery. Like, I don't know what it is. Oh man,
So we just got to figure out what the next big thing is.
Basically, and it has to be a mystery item or something like that.
You know what? Yeah, exactly. But you know what wasn't, or how can I put this? The next big thing was unexpectedly placed in one place and then put on Netflix and became a huge success. What was that? Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai. The topic of today's issue
of nostalgia.
We gave you guys. It's been like what, 3 weeks since its release? 2 weeks?
2 weeks. I want to say by now 2 weeks.
By the time this issue comes out, it's been 2 weeks.
Which is because we wanted to give you guys time to watch it. Not a lot of people had the time, like me and Bryan, to just binge it.
On the first day?
Yeah, we binged it. I binged it on New Year's Day because it was my day off.
Yeah, same.
There's only 10 episodes. Again, there's only 10 episodes, and each of them are only like 30 minutes long. Not less than that,
It felt longer, honestly. But this is your guys' spoiler warning.
Spoilers.
Yes. So if you guys have not seen Cobra Kai Season 3, and don't want anything spoiled, please, come back to this issue once you guys have seen it, because this is a pretty packed issue with a lot of content. And I know that the internet releases a lot of the information out there, but trust me when I say that the internet has not released why those pieces are important, unless you actually click on the article. Yeah. So spoiler alert right now, come back once you've seen the show. Here's an example to those that have stayed, and what I mean as to why the internet hasn't necessarily released information on why certain aspects are important.
And to those who just came back, welcome back.
Yes.
It was a good season, right?
It was great.
Like that ending, right, guys?
Yeah. Allie is the example I wanted to reference.
Yes.
Allie is the one that was teased at the end of season 2. And then probably within like 2 days of the season being released, everyone was talking about Allie. Everyone was saying Allie is back. Why is she significant and all this other stuff? But no headline really explained. Not the articles and the videos that I'm talking about like in full. Talking about the headlines. The headlines didn't explain why she was a great turning point for what was happening in season 3. With that said, should we just jump straight into this?
Yes, let's do it not like how we did with Mando, but like go down the line. So I feel like if we just talk about it, we're just going to go straight into towards the end of it.
Bro, I don't even remember. I feel like this entire thing was just done in like a movie format.
So that's how it felt. So let's talk about like the season as a whole then right now.
Okay.
Did you enjoy the season more than any other season that came out?
Yes. So there's 2 main reasons as to why. Okay. One is the production value. The production value was much better here. And I don't know if it was because I don't know if it was developed by Sony or produced by Sony originally, but something about this was better produced than the last 2 seasons. I think the last 2 seasons had a charm where it was like, it does feel like a TV show, but it also lacked that kind of like, like high production value in every episode.
Yeah.
You can tell that certain episodes had more money spent.
Yes.
More effort in trying to do things. The example was the high school fight.
Yeah.
That was spectacular.
That was really good.
Bad for the kids.
But
that
was really
filmed really well
done and then choreographed really well at the same time. They actually had a scene in the hallway where it was one long shot for a certain duration of the fight. And the choreograph was really cool because I liked when they even have their background actors actually looking like they're fighting. When you see certain big blockbuster movies, you can tell if you really looked around in the background, some of the background fighters are kind of really like just phoning it in.
Yeah.
They're not told well. Like one in particular, you could obviously one that comes up to mind is The Dark Knight Rises, where you honestly look at the background and if you look past
Rene, you're talking bad about Dark Knight.
Knight Rises. Not Dark Knight. Dark Knight
Christopher Nolan's movies,
Rises.
right?
Yes. But
That's a sin. You can't say that.
I can say
you can't say that. You can't.
2021.
Now you're gonna have people turning off this issue saying like, you can't talk bad about the Dark Knight movies. They're so good.
You know why? Because
Christopher Nolan.
Christian Bale didn't want a Robin in his film, and that was a really dumb thing to say, in my opinion.
You just made enemies.
It's again
because I said that.
Yeah.
I said that I didn't like the Dark Knight movies. Like
they're
overall.
good movies. I'll say
they're
that.
good.
They're good movies, not great Batman.
I just
movies,
personally don't like them, and look where that ended up for me.
You're still
in a bad
there?
place.
You're still alive
for now.
No,
anyways, but yeah,
if you look at the certain fights, like at the ending fight when Batman confronts Bane at the final third act of the film, you can look around in the background actors, and they're just like like not even trying to throw a punch.
I gotta rewatch that then,
dude. Watch it. It's terrible. But like I said, in Cobra Kai though, in season 2, Cobra Kai was pretty good. In season 2, at the end of season 2, it was really well choreographed. I love the fights. It was really cool. You get to see all the fights you've been wanting to see, and you get to see what is obviously Robbie versus Miguel. You get to see Tori versus Danielle. No, it's not. That's Al. Was it? What's her name?
Who?
LaRusso's daughter, Daniel's daughter.
Sam.
Sam? Okay.
Is it Sam?
It's Sam. No, it's Sam.
Okay.
Sam versus Tori and stuff like that. You get to see Hawk versus Eli.
Hawk. Hell yeah, dude.
You like Hawk?
Hell, yeah, dude.
I like Hawk's like, you know, his character. It's really cool, but I don't like him as like if he was like a person. I don't like him as a person.
I'll get to that after. I'll get to why Hawk is good.
But season 3, yes, great.
Yeah.
I will say this. I do love one character out of the main ones, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to choose like a side character that I loved overall in this series is Eli, because he had a great development.
Eli,
the one that's like super nerdy. No, he's great because you start out from season 1 like a, you know, annoying. Season 2 is like, okay, he learns, but he's still annoyed. But season 3, he's like, yeah, I kind of like him more in season 3. No,
I'll tell you why. Like, I can see what you mean,
Yeah.
but like the difference between Hawk and him, or Hawk and Eli, I'll tell you why afterwards. So production value was one of the big things for me, right?
Yes.
The second part was the story, the way that it was written.
Yes.
So in seasons 1 and 2, they, in order to kind of make up for the lack of production value in the show, again, the production for a YouTube original show is fantastic, right? But you can tell that it could have been so much better.
Yeah.
The writings in seasons 1 and 2 made up for that.
Yeah.
You can tell that the writers here were really wanting to tell the story of what happened with these characters after Cobra Kai in the tournament.
But you can tell that they can't do that because they didn't have, like you said, the production
No.
to do that. The money to do that, obviously.
But it didn't stop them from going on forward. What happened in season 3 is that the production increased. Now they have the money, they have the ability, the equipment, and all these things to do all these really great shots. And that didn't undervalue the writing. Instead, it made it that much better.
Oh, definitely.
You had characters coming in. And here's the thing I loved about it. We're not forgetting about Karate Kid 3 here.
No.
We've talked about it before when we did the overview of Cobra Kai season 1 and 2 a couple issues back.
Season 2, yeah. In season 2, Daniel references what happened in Karate Kid Part 3, that he joined Cobra Kai.
Yes, but not that in particular. What I'm saying is, we said Karate Kid 1 and 2 were really good, that we liked them, and 3 was forgettable. The writers, instead of cowering from that and saying like Karate Kid 3 never happened, it's kind of like whatever,
they still embraced it.
They embraced it. They said like, this is what's going on, this is what we're going to do.
They took good aspects of Karate Kid Part 3, of especially with, you know, Sam dealing with Tori, of being afraid of her and stuff like that. And I loved how they kind of brought that around, and, you know, Daniel told her the time he was afraid, which happened in Karate Kid Part 3. And it was really cool that they did that and stuff. But obviously, in this season, though, we were more excited because they were going to reference more of Karate Kid Part 2.
Yes.
So, but we'll get into that more later. But so those are the two.
Those are the big two things for me. I mean, we can talk about Kreese's development in here.
That was my main thing. I will say the few things that I liked about it. So one was the Kreese's, basically the subplot was Kreese's, basically, I like to say.
How long did that stretch out for? Not the whole season.
No, it started in like
half of the season all the way to the end.
No. It was in episode 2. They started referencing that, remember? Because they did in episode 2. They referenced. They showed like the little psych out of like the jock dude in the 50s or in the 60s diner or something like that.
Yeah.
And then like we find out that the janitor kid was Kreese the whole time. See, what I like to call that subplot is the origin of John Kreese. You know? That was basically it, and it was really cool to see that. I like that a lot. Another one was obviously how they tied in Karate Kid Part 2. How they kind of like flowed with it and still made it really like very they made it very well known, like, okay, yeah, you know, Daniel goes to Japan for a certain reason and stuff like that. I loved how they brought that in, like the reason why he would go to Japan. And then like also finding out, you know, what more stuff about Mr. Miyagi and stuff like that, which was really cool.
They brought Miyagi back without him being there.
Yeah.
Which is really amazing to see.
Yeah.
No, I can totally see what you mean by that. Besides the Kreese origin story, is there anything else that you really liked about it?
I liked
You said Kreese. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I also liked the way that this ended, where it wasn't. We were told that the tournament was going to be happening soon, but we didn't get that at the end.
No, that's season 4.
That's season 4.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I liked how this one ended, where it didn't leave, obviously, with the tournament, because I feel like that would be too rushed. We get a whole, obviously next season, we're going to get a whole season of the build up. Again, building up closer as we get closer and closer to the All Valley tournament.
Okay, so can I interject with that ending that you said that you really liked? So part of me loved the ending because it was the joining of Johnny
and Daniel put aside their
differences.
And then finally ended their rivalry, essentially.
Yes. So now you have, I wouldn't even say that Johnny is, here's what I want to see from this ending. I don't want Johnny to be joining Miyagi-Do.
No.
I want it to be brand new, a new union between these two.
Yeah.
Because like you said, they put aside their differences and went on with this, right?
I think it's not going to be like a forever thing.
No.
I think it's like basically like in the midst of war, you team up with the enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Exactly.
You know? So it's just like it's just a union for now.
Now, part of me doesn't like it for one reason personally. I didn't expect it because I was predicting something else and I ended up being wrong. And I don't like being wrong.
Petty.
That's a petty thing. Because my fiance predicted that like 3 episodes before the ending. She's like, oh yeah, they're going to join up. They're going to join up. And I didn't believe it because I'm just like, it doesn't make any sense.
What was your ending then?
My ending was that they were going to fight Kreese together, but not in union.
Oh.
So they were essentially each going to handle it from their own way, their own way. But to make them like get together, that I didn't see coming. And so when she got that ending, she was like, oh my God, I was so right. And I'm like, yeah, I guess, sure. But I felt satisfied because of the episode before. Yeah. So it eased it in. Now, the other reason as to why I don't like the ending is because it's on Netflix now. And now I've seen, different articles coming out saying like, yep, Cobra Kai is written for another 4 seasons after. So we're going to get 7 seasons or we're going to get 5 or 6 seasons, things like that. I was
kind of hoping season 4 would be the final season.
I would want season 4 to be the final season. I wouldn't mind a season 5, but here's my problem with it is that when you talk about the show being left on a cliffhanger like that on Netflix, you still run the risk of Netflix coming in and saying, we're done here. Your season 4 is going to be your last one and we're going to cut your budget. So there's always that risk. I see
what you mean, yeah.
And I don't want that. And
I don't think they'll do that because with this new year, they lost a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec, The Office, those are no longer available on.
They have to compete with the other streaming services.
So, I mean, they could essentially drag it out if they could, but that's the thing that I think of it as if they give it another 4 seasons, then I don't know what else they can do because it seems like the writers have been building up to this final kind of, I feel watching this season, you feel that the writers have finally led up. The whole reason of doing the show was that Daniel and Johnny can finally put aside their differences and come together as not friends, but as mutual rivals, that they respect each other. And I think that's what they've been leading up to this entire time and stuff like that. At least that's what it feels like if I'm going to judge it from season 1 to at the end of season 3 now, it feels like this is what they have been leading up to. And then season 4, we're going to see if it is the final season. I would be much satisfied if season 4 was the final season.
You could extend it past season 4. You can end the tournament, Kreese leaves, and then they can go and visit, maybe make a field trip over to Japan and fight in another tournament over there or something like that, right?
So one of the things why I didn't want to, I wanted to kind of break it down was that this season really showed how broken Johnny and Robbie's relationship is. This season really showed that, where Johnny tries, but at the same time, Johnny's had so many opportunities to try to reconcile his relationship with Robbie, but he's always gone to Miguel's corner.
Okay. So now you want to start getting into character development.
I kind of want to do that now, yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about pretty much what we liked about it and the ending. We're going straight into character development here. We can talk about Robbie and Johnny first.
Yeah.
We can then address the other characters afterwards. We're a little bit organized over here.
Trying to-
Grab the pieces.
I don't wanna,
put
like,
them in here. We got it like Miyagi once said, balance. So yes, I do agree with you in some aspect of what you're saying there.
Yeah.
Do you have more to say? Because then I want to interject with something real quick.
And then the thing is that it finally shows that this is a relationship that can't be shown over a season or something. It can't be fixed yet. It's going to take a while to fix this relationship and stuff. And I think we're reaching that end now, where the way how Robbie is where he is now. Because I was rewatching the series and I was really looking at it, and Johnny, again, like I said, had a lot of opportunities to try to basically reestablish his relationship with Robbie, with him trying to visit him while he's in juvie, but then or even try to find him. So the first one was when he tries to find him. He doesn't find him, but he hears that Miguel is waking up. He goes off and tries to go with Miguel and stuff like that.
No, he donated the money.
Yeah.
And then that's when the surgery happened, and he was waking up from the. Never mind. You're right.
He woke up, and then he was getting surgery.
Yes,
and then he started saving money, trying to get money to help pay for his surgery as well too.
Yeah.
And then again, when he had the opportunity to see Robbie in juvie, he instead stayed next to Robbie Miguel's corner to try to help him walk again and stuff like that. So I was really mad at Johnny at that point, because I was kind of like, oh man, like, come on, like, I know that, he has a strong relationship with Miguel, but at the same time, that's his son, and he could have helped him out. He could have stopped everything that Robbie was doing, or even helped him out, show that he was there.
He basically regressed back into someone that wasn't beneficial at all. Like, he would make a work happen, or he would work for himself to be a better person, but then something would happen that would make him revert back into it. All right, can I interject real quick with something? I can see what you mean in the sense that season 3 kind of expanded the relationship between Johnny and Robbie, right? I can see what you mean by that, and I do agree with you there. But I want to dig a little bit deeper and say that season 3 was more of a defining moment as to what Cobra Kai does for people. And I think that's what the writers have been trying to tell us since the first season. That Cobra Kai was kind of there as an outlet for these kids to essentially get out of some sort of situation, right? When we look at, Daniel as a kid with Johnny, Daniel was looking for someone to help him out. And who was there to help him out? Mr. Miyagi, right? Johnny needed Cobra Kai to try to show that he is top dog in everything, right? When we look into Cobra Kai in seasons 1 and 2, Johnny was in a rut, the lowest of the low. In other words, we flipped the script. Daniel is now top dog because he's got the money, he's got the wife, he's got the family, he's got everything. And then we have Johnny, who was the rich kid who lived in the hills, who now has nothing. Who did he turn to kind of give himself that revival?
Miguel.
No. Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai. The first season wasn't Miguel. The first season, Miguel and Johnny's relationship was more along the lines of like Miguel needing Johnny because he wanted to defend himself, similar to how Daniel needed Miyagi to learn how to defend himself, right? Johnny was leaning more on Cobra Kai to kind of get that boost up again. Bringing back old mentalities of like, in this dojo, fear does not exist in this dojo. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy kind of aspect. Being an asshole, right? You can tell by the language he spoke as well. Like saying like, oh, stop being a little puss. Stop being a little bitch. Like that old school like mentality of like men are men kind of thing, right? So Cobra Kai was that kind of like boost of confidence to get him going again, to kind of say like, yes, I'm top dog again and all this other stuff, right? Then we get season 2. Now it's not Cobra Kai that's helping Johnny be better. It's Miguel trying to make Johnny better. And so you have that aspect,
well, because
right?
he sees how Miguel is after season 1, his mentality and how much of a character change Miguel has become. And Johnny feels obviously he's responsible for that. and feels that he tries to teach him a better way, a
Exactly.
different way.
Yeah, so now it flipped. No longer is Cobra Kai trying to help out Johnny. Cobra Kai, the actual dojo, like not a person. This is like an inanimate thing. Now it's Miguel trying to help Johnny become a better person. And then we get Robbie. And Robbie, being someone that's just been abandoned and stuff like that, looks at LaRusso.
Yeah.
And he's trying to make him a better person overall, right? The point I'm trying to get to is that every character kind of leans on someone to make them better.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how Cobra Kai started back up, right? When we get into season 3, now you have a bigger aspect. Robbie no longer relies on LaRusso to kind of get that boost up because LaRusso turned him in. Robbie can't go to Johnny because he's never there.
Yeah.
So where does he turn to? Cobra Kai. The easiest thing that could get him back up to where he wants to be.
Yeah.
So we're seeing like a mirror of like what happened. He's kind of fighting his own past at this point. And so that's kind of like what I really liked about season 3 is that it dug way into this aspect of like reliance on others or reliance on things.
So for me in season 3, I liked, again, like how you said it, I loved how it was basically the journey to how get to Robbie to Cobra Kai, and then getting Miguel to not Miyagi Dojo, but to work with Daniel and stuff like that, and Sam at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's basically what this season was trying to do, is that we're trying to get these characters that were on opposite sides and basically put them on opposite sides, but in different corners.
Yes.
And that was really good the way they did it. I loved how they did it with Miguel, where he finally realized, after he woke up and all the turmoil he had to do to get his legs working again, he saw that John Kreese and Cobra Kai weren't really the best thing for him, but still wants to be in Johnny, still be with his sensei Johnny. And and then Tori's relationship with him and stuff like that, and then Sam's relationship gets reestablished as well too. But I liked, again, how we get another layer of Tori in this season.
So going into Tori.
Into Tori, I liked how we got in the beginning of episode 1, where we find out like her situation and why she kind of is aggressive in the way that she is, because she's the one that always has to look out for her family and has to be the one that takes control and has to be the protector and stuff like that.
Was that in the first time we see her, or that wasn't the first time we see her?
What?
When Tori is introduced, we don't know anything about her.
We don't know anything about her. We just know she's like the tough girl and stuff like that. Why do you keep looking at yourself in the TV?
I don't know. I just like, because the TV is making me weird. It's like, I don't know. It's like
checking yourself out.
It's weird because I'm just like looking and it's like, I don't know, man. My eyes are weird. I've been seeing like wide stuff. Like my eyes are on a wide aspect ratio. I don't know what's wrong with him.
I'm like talking to Bryan, guys, and I'm like, he's like, and looks at the reflection.
Because I want to make sure my eyesight's right, dude. My bad.
No, he did it 3 times.
Because it was freaked out, dude.
I let it go the first time. Second time, okay, maybe he just wants to double take himself. And third time, okay, you're getting conceited.
I'm telling you, it's a weird week, man. I just want to make sure I'm good. Gosh.
Did you just see a glitch in the Matrix? Did you find out we're in a simulation?
That the simulation's breaking. Anyways, go on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's fine. It's funny. This is what the podcast is about. So with Tori's character, I really liked how they showed that she deals with her mother being sick, and she's the one trying to pay for all the pay the rent, pay bills. She has like 2 different jobs and stuff like that. We really, because I'm there right now. I'm there with my family, helping them out and stuff like that as too. But I'm not trying to hurt people with my spiked necklace or bracelet or anything like that. But
you're not an asshole.
I'm not an asshole, But again, I liked how the show basically shows characters that are like that, even though they're on Cobra Kai or they're showing us like, okay, not everyone's. Again, it's the whole thing where there's not a bad person, there's only bad teachers.
That is fantastic, because Andy said the same thing. She's like, I don't choose a side. I just feel bad for these kids because they're all being misled. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like, Like you can say it.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows it,
Like,
but
see,
no one says it.
Like Hawk. Like Hawk started out with like he was like a shy kid, didn't want to.
He had the lip.
He had the lip, so it
Yeah.
made him very discouraged about himself. But then he joins Cobra Kai, becomes more of like a Cobra Kai member and stuff, and then just becomes obviously an asshole. But that's because he was taught that way.
Mm-hmm.
He was taught that way, and he becomes more aggressive when John starts teaching him and stuff like that. Johnny was kind of when Johnny teaches him, it's just kind of just how to be a badass. That's it. He has that little badass mentality, like that regular bad boy you see in shows. But when John Kreese teaches him, he becomes a little bit more not crazy, but just aggressive and how to take things and stuff. Like one especially when he breaks
Eli's
arm. I did not expect that, honestly.
I did. I just didn't want to see it because like I could imagine because like I've had a friend of mine teach me like certain moves for MMA and stuff like that because he trains. What was it that he trains? Muay Thai, I think it was.
Oh, Muay Thai. Ooh,
I don't know if it's Muay Thai or if it's I can't
Krav
remember
Maga?
what it is. No, it's not Krav Maga, but he was teaching.
Still insane.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But he was telling me about how like certain maneuvers are supposed to get you, and it's supposed to lock you in a position where like if the person moves, it breaks or dislocates something.
So any sudden movement.
Yeah,
from
and
the
so
other
when I
person.
saw it, it's like he has him in a position where it's like, are you just gonna let him go, or are you gonna break his arm? And I knew it. It was uncomfortable for me. Now, in terms of like Tori and Hawk and Eli, since we're going into that direction of those characters, Tori and Hawk have been like my favorite characters in Cobra Kai. And I think it's because they're one of the most straightforward people in the entire show.
No, they're more fleshed out. They're
not fleshed out. I wouldn't say fleshed out. I would say that they just tell it how it is. So you get their character development without having to dig deeper in their situation. It comes at an appropriate pace. Tori, like you said, we knew nothing about her. She was just a new kid that came into Cobra Kai that Miguel was like, yeah, I'm heartbroken because Sam found out I was in Cobra Kai.
Yeah,
and
they kind of
hates
made her
me.
like the obviously like
don't trust a Cobra.
Yeah, don't trust the Cobra. Oh no, but they made her like they kind of written her in as like, oh, she's obviously going to be the next love interest for Miguel.
Yeah.
And in season 3, they're like, okay, she's no longer with Miguel, so we have to establish her as her own.
Yes.
Why?
And so that gave way to her character.
Yeah.
Everything came in an appropriate sense. But with that said, in season 2, she was an asshole because we thought she wanted to be the tough chick.
Yeah.
Now in season 3, she has to take care of her mother. She's got 2 jobs.
She's dealing with a lot.
Dealing with a lot. And how does she deal with that? Either you're strong and, make it out alive, or you're weak and everyone eats you alive. And so she has a reason to do it. Is it an appropriate reason? No. Personally, I don't think so. If you're being eaten alive by the world, it doesn't mean that you have to go out and start punching everyone in the face. You have to establish yourself, like Miyagi said, and find that balance and go about it in an appropriate way.
Yeah.
But Tori has that characteristic that's so great to see. And it's so true to life as well. Hawk has that same mentality. Hawk was born with the lip. He was bullied. He was pushed around. He was Eli's friend. Then he was taught, hey, I'm going to be a badass and be confident. Confidence doesn't come from the way I look or the way I am. It comes on how I want to be and what I want to be. So he got the mohawk. He got the tattoo. He got that very like confident attitude of like, hey, yeah, I'm talking to you, bitch, kind of thing, which got the girls and stuff like that, right? And you can tell throughout seasons 1 through 3, there were moments, and this is why I like Hawk more than Eli, there were moments where he doubted his momentum. He was teased.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh. And like you can tell that he reverted back to that old character that he was. From the moment he started doing that, I knew that his arc was going to be badass, 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 badass to the good badass in a way. And I might be wrong because I know these fans are going to be like, it's not how that is. Vegeta's arc in Dragon Ball Z. If you watch Dragon Ball Z at all. Yeah. Where he's still an asshole, but he's like a good asshole.
Yeah. It's always cool to see when, and I think this is why it's great storytelling, because it's cool to see the villain, the early villains in series where like originally they're the bad guy, like, oh man, but then like they're still around, but they see that like, oh, well, I want to still be around, but I have to team up with my nemesis or with my enemy and stuff like that. But then over time, they still continue to be around and stuff like that, and to become friends in a way.
Exactly. So he had one of the coolest kind of arcs, especially in the end where he like turns back into like
that was really good.
Yes, we get the team up.
Yeah, the team up, the duo,
the duo. Like they're back.
Yeah.
But like now they're at an appropriate power level where they can kick ass together, and they both did the whole like power kick at the same time. I'm like, yes.
I was thinking in my head, I was just like, man, like that's a great karate like duo, just like teaming up. Like if there was like, it's just so cool to watch. I don't know why I like totally geeked out when I just saw them team up. They're like, let's take these down, let's win together. And I was like, ugh.
Controversial. I think that was better than the LaRusso Lawrence or Johnny team up that was in the garage
at the in the
chop shop.
No, that was way better. Honestly, I that was cool to watch.
Yeah, it was.
The garage.
I mean, it was a little bit weird,
but it didn't feel right. That's why, because the build up, it didn't feel like the payoff was there. But it was a cool little team up because it was awkward, and I think because the situation was awkward because Johnny just started the fight. But again, we get that again at the end of the series when they're taking on John Kreese at the end together. But it's not like a team up.
Maybe we don't know how that's gonna. That's your prediction right there. Right?
No. But it happened at the end of this season where Johnny's fighting John Kreese.
Oh, you're talking about at Cobra Kai.
Yeah. Where they're fighting, but it's not like as dynamic as it was in the LaRusso house between Hawk and Eli. But Daniel and Johnny have like hit moments where one hits the other and the other one hits the other one and stuff, and so it's like, okay, cool, that's cool. But I think we'll get that in season 4. I think we're gonna.
So we have Hawk's development, Tori's development. Eli, you said that you really liked him. I
really liked how it was the buildup of him becoming the character that he is now.
Okay.
Where he was the annoying guy in season. He had like some good one-liners in season 1.
He did, but look, I'm gonna be 100% honest. My hatred comes more from a personal reason because I've known people like that.
You know what, Eli, in your life?
I do, and it's like some of the stuff that he says. I'm just like,
talking about.
I'll put it this way: it's like some of his one-liners are just kind of like, oh, like you don't cringe, you just revert into the shadows and go like, I don't know you.
I'm just gonna. Man.
Yeah. So it's like,
oh, that sounds really great. I just, it's super cool that you're doing that. I'm really happy for you and stuff. I'm just gonna go over here.
So it's like it's stuff like that. I'm just like, ugh. And
that's true. No, that's why, and I think that's why I like Eli because because everyone has an Eli.
Yes,
in
but
their
it's
life.
like,
but to see him kind of like realize that what he's doing is still kind of like still kind of like he is acting like a wimp. But then when he learns karate, he still is a wimp. But then when he takes on Hawk, he gets that confidence a bit.
He gets the confidence the first time he kicks him into the trophy case. But then it starts to revert back.
Yeah.
So I think that, I'm not in that boat as well where I want to like him, but I can't like him fully because he feels like one of those like, how can I say it? The way I picture his development is like kind of like when you press a button and the gauge starts going up, up, and up, and you let it go and it starts to slowly deflate.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. Is his development was going up, and then we get something and he starts to deflate slowly, then up, and then deflate.
But I think certain things that had to happen, and like him breaking his arm, and then realizing, that he is kind of alone again when people start making fun of it when they draw the dick on his cast, but then has what's her name, Cass?
I don't know.
Yeah, the popular, what used to be the popular girls, starts developing a relationship with him and stuff, and then again boosts his confidence even more and stuff. And then when it comes to the whole talking with the former Cobra Kai members, he takes charge and realizes that they have to come together and stuff.
I think most of his development just came to him rather than him working it on his own. And I think that's probably why I'm not that big a fan of his. I like his development in the sense that he got his redemption and he came back to what he once was before in a better way. The Hawk and Eli friendship is back.
Yes.
Great. But a lot of the stuff just kind of came to him. Like again, you like the whole whole cast situation. The popular girl signs it and is like, I really like your dick or whatever it was, right?
Big, yeah.
Yeah. So that,
which I was like, oh yeah, okay, so it's Netflix. It's Netflix. They can do that.
Yeah,
Like,
sure. Okay. They're a high school, but it's like, sure.
Well, I mean, it's high school. I mean, but it wasn't PG. Honestly, if we look
it's
back,
TV-14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then like, again, what led that to then Sam and Miguel finding them making out in a corner?
Okay, I didn't like Sam in this season, to be honest.
Do you want to jump into Sam?
Let's jump into Sam, because you mentioned Miguel and Sam, and Sam is one of those characters that obviously she is the daughter of Daniel LaRusso. You expect a lot from the child of Daniel LaRusso. I think so.
Yes.
When you're doing a Cobra Kai or a Karate Kid series, you expect a lot from them and stuff. Obviously, I did like the fact in season 1 that she is sick of karate. Like, she stopped learning karate because she grew up. You know, and she's obviously a teenager and stuff like that. I did like at the end of it though, she did see the appeal of going back to learning karate. In season 2, so, you know, she has a relationship with Miguel, and I like that relationship with Miguel. It's fine.
It was sweet.
It's cute. I like it because you have, you know, obviously, you know, the daughter of Daniel LaRusso dating, you know, Johnny's top karate student and stuff like that. That's a cool dynamic. That's a cool, like, okay, how are they gonna deal with that and stuff? But then when you bring in Robbie, I think that relationship felt very forced. Like, because Robbie was near her, it's like people thought, oh, well, you know, maybe she'll develop a relationship with her and stuff.
It was the stick that was going to be the wedge that would be put, like, split them up.
Yeah. And then, you know, she then obviously breaks up with, you know, Miguel at the end of season 1, but then in season 2 starts having a relationship with Robbie. But yeah, because they never really dwelled into that. They never even called it anything. They just kind of like basically was like, oh no, like
they needed each other to progress.
Yeah.
One had a broken heart, one had daddy issues. Then they needed each other, so they were technically dating, but it was only to kind of make up for what they once had.
Yeah, it was like they were both rebounding with each other. Essentially,
Miguel and Tori's was more of a relationship than them two.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So then when Sam was basically talking to Miguel at the party and stuff like that, and then they had their little moment, I was like, come on, Sam, like, make up your mind. Like,
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, I mean, I don't know. I guess I never dealt with anything like that, you know, as relationship wise, I guess.
You don't have, I feel like you don't have to personally experience what Sam goes through to be frustrated with kind of what she's been. In the series as a whole. I personally have never liked Sam. And I'm going to address one thing before going into that. Yes, the expectation of Sam is that it's a high expectation because she's the daughter of LaRusso, right? But from a writing perspective, the way I see it is that if you give this person everything, then you're only going to expect a downfall. Yeah. It was good for the writers to make her a brat to then have to work to get to where she needed to be, where she is
true.
now.
No, yeah, because Daniel's the way that he is because he came from a life of poverty and stuff like that. He didn't have, you know, as much not freedom, but like, I don't want to say privilege either. Like, didn't have as much amenities as, you know, obviously he gives his children now because he's a successful person now.
He said it too before. He's just like, I don't want you guys to experience what I experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I did like how basically, you know, you see what type of character she is and stuff. But at the same time, I guess I was expecting like to have the same. Well, I guess Daniel didn't have that spirit. He was taught that way of being brave and stuff. So I guess that does make sense. Because I was going to say, I guess I want her to have the same character as Daniel.
Well, in a way, yes, and in a way, no.
That's
because
the thing,
Daniel was taught to work hard for what he needed to achieve.
Yeah.
Because remember in the first Karate Kid, he was just kind of like, I just want the easiest way out. I want to just kick ass and make sure that I don't get bullied a lot. And that led him.
Honestly, if you look at it, Daniel was kind of an asshole. Like,
yeah, he was in a way kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
And that's what the writers did so well with Cobra Kai overall. Yeah. They flipped the script and made it so that the fans got what they wanted in a way.
Yeah.
But, you know, he had to be taught, hey, you know, it's not the easy way out. You have to learn how to work towards getting to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And Sam had that same process as well.
Yeah.
Just because you're here, but it was on the opposite spectrum, excuse me.
Yeah.
Because Daniel came from nothing to work hard to get to something. Sam has everything, but still has to work hard to get to where she needed to be. The frustrating thing about Sam, like you said, it's that back and forth of like, can you make up your mind? And a lot of the issues that I had with her is that it went back and forth a lot of the times when alcohol was present. And I know that that's kind of like a weird point, like a weird thing to kind of point out, but it's kind of true.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times that there was, I don't want to, I sound like such a dad saying this, like alcohol is bad, don't drink it. No. What I'm saying is like a lot of her points where she had to like revert back to like being
alcohol was involved.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's
at
true.
the lake when she got, or she wasn't drunk, but Miguel got drunk and she's like, how could you do this? And she went home with Robbie. And then at the party when she kissed Miguel after they break up, she was drunk and stuff like that. They tried to show off, and so she was drinking with Tori and all this. So a lot of the times that was an aspect of it. So there was kind of like a poor way to kind of make her revert back. But then she would be making these weird things where she wasn't straightforward.
Yeah.
If I had to compare her and Tori wins. Tori's straightforward. She knows what she wants, and she's going to tell you, this is what I want, or I'm going to kick your ass. Sam is more like, sure. Miguel's in the hospital. What does she give him? An octopus card, because that was the first stuffed animal Miguel gave her.
Yeah.
Do you love him? Do you care for him?
Yeah.
Or do you not? Because then all of a sudden you revert back to Robbie for a second and go like, Robbie, it's because you didn't answer me. The dude is in freaking jail.
He's in jail. Like, what do you expect?
Are you going to be crying about that?
Yeah.
I understand. Maybe he could have typed it, but you also have to understand from his mentality, he's going through some stuff too. So Sam,
he put a person in the hospital, and he's dealing with it being in juvenile hall, and he's getting freaking bullied by a really asshole in juvenile hall.
Oh yeah,
too. That guy was such a dick.
Yeah, that guy's a dick. Shut up, Sam. No one freaking cares. Ignorant child. God, I hate her so much. Not the actress.
Not
Yeah,
the
if I met
actress,
the
no,
actress, I'd be like, you do a good job.
No,
you
we're
do a
not
good job
trying to-
because you make me hate the character.
We're not trying to Last Jedi you. Don't worry.
No.
We're not about to fill up your Twitter feed with hate.
No.
But no, it's just I feel like the writers didn't know what to do with her and stuff right away, at least.
Yes, yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah,
I do agree with
but
that.
I feel like now, like, again, I did like the whole aspect of Daniels showing her the moment he was afraid of someone when he was fighting, and how he got into it and how he overcame that as well too. And then that's them referencing Karate Kid Part 3, another one that no one likes, but they're, like you said, the writers are trying to make it known, like, no, it happened. This is what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So I like how Sam at the end of this season fought Tori again, and then not gained her confidence, but then overcame her fear.
Yes.
And now she's ready to basically take on Tori.
Every one of these characters had the jump over the big hill. Like, they all made it past their hump.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get refined characters in season 4 that are going to be growing more. Now that they can't revert back to the point.
No.
They've made the hump. They are now going to grow more. They can only revert back to where they were before after jumping the hump. In terms, and we lightly touched on Kreese's development.
I want to save Kreese for last, honestly, because it was the last thing I wanted.
You want to save Kreese for last?
Yeah, save Kreese
Can
for
we
last.
touch on the way that season 3, because I know we're short on time already. We're already at like 50.
Yeah, we're at an hour now.
We're at an hour. So I want to touch on this before we wrap it up with Kreese and everything like that. The big point for me in season 3 was that season 3 was the season that said we have to let go of the past.
Yes.
Because every single one of these characters jumping over that hump had to let go of something that they had before.
Yes.
And so when we look at, LaRusso and Johnny, who were the big characters in Cobra Kai, they had to let go of their rivalry to come in union to take down Kreese.
Yes.
You look at Sam. Sam had to let go of her fear that she had against Tori.
Yeah.
She had to let go of her childish mentality to grow and reunite, be back with Miguel, to have a better relationship, to understand what it was to learn karate. You look at, Tori didn't have that. Hawk was the one that had it. Hawk had to let go of his fear of being a dork and his wanting to be this badass that he wasn't.
He was afraid, basically, like, he was afraid to go back to how he was before, essentially, like you said, with his character. he was really afraid to going back to being bullied again. And stuff.
Exactly.
So it was really cool to see that he's like, it's not worth it. I
Out
just
of the
gonna
way.
do what I'm gonna do and protect my friend.
I don't know if you felt this, but I felt that I didn't get that until Allie was introduced. The reason I say that is because Allie, for me, was one of the best things that they could have done for the show.
Yes.
That I didn't like when it happened, but at the end of it was like, that's brilliant. That's brilliant writing.
Oh yeah.
Because Allie was never meant. I personally didn't want Allie to be brought into this again because then it was just going to bring a whole mess of problems.
So yeah, for me, I thought at the end of season 2, Allie was going to be introduced as a character for the whole season. But they did a much better way when they just brought her back for an episode.
Exactly.
And it was actually really smart because it was, like you said, it was the turmoil that Johnny and Daniel had to get through because that was the kernel of
That
their
started it
rivalry.
all.
Yeah, was
Yes.
Allie.
Yes. Now, she comes in. She's seeing Johnny, and you can tell that there's something kindling right there.
Mind
again.
you,
he slept with
Miguel's mother, but the thing is that relationship was really nice because he always had feelings for her, when in season 2 and stuff like that. And that's a nice relationship because it just makes him closer to Miguel and stuff like that. And I like that. I like that he's with Miguel's mom. I like it more than
I wouldn't have worded it that way.
Why?
Sounds weird.
What do you mean?
You banged his mom so you can be closer to him?
No, it's just as an emotional thing though. That's the thing.
I know what you meant,
Yeah.
but I don't know why my mind reverted to that because the way I would have said it is like Miguel always saw Johnny as a father figure that he didn't have. And so it was kind of like it was a natural relationship that would have happened anyways between the two. Allie comes in, they hang out, they were about to kiss, then
I was really scared.
I was
for
Johnny,
that
you just had
because
well.
I think we talked about it where this series is notorious for having development for characters, but then pushing it back with one decision in the series.
Yes.
So when they were about to kiss.
No, now I thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought wherever these writers are, ooh, you got me. You said that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it like hit me like brain spark all of a sudden.
It was maybe something that they knew what they were doing. Like, let's tease them.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Keep going.
Let's tease them, but then let's just make sure. Okay, don't worry. No. Don't worry about it.
So to add on to it, because I don't want this to be gone before you move on.
Go on.
So the way I see how this was developed,
mind you, he sees Allie right after he
Yeah.
sleeps with Miguel's
Yes.
mom, and they were about to have the relationship. I mean, about to have the conversation to talk about their relationship.
Okay, go on, because I got my idea.
Okay,
I don't want to lose this.
Go.
So the way I see it is that as viewers, we knew what was going on. We see this button is pressed, you get development, and then a little bit back, and then development, and then back. Allie gets introduced as a way of saying it. We know what you're seeing. Don't worry. We're going to make you think it's happening, but it's not.
Yeah.
We're teasing you, like you said. He's going to revert back. He's going to lose all this. No. He's not. Instead, what we're going to do with Allie is the key to let all the past go and have LaRusso 2.0 and Johnny Lawrence 2.0 to fight new and improved Kreese.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about Allie so much.
No, I see.
And so season 3, to me, could be wrapped up with Allie's episode in the sense that each one of these characters had some sort of turmoil in their past. Allie's introduction comes in, and in order to progress forward into the story, everyone needs to let go of something that they've been holding on to understand and move forward and fight the demons that lay ahead. That's what I like so much about Allie and that episode.
Yeah.
I didn't like Allie at first. I thought that she came in and she was going to be the wedge between everyone.
Yeah.
It was awkward. It's like, really, you're going to revert Johnny back?
Yeah.
Then no. We get some really good storytelling out of her. She's talking to Daniel about what was going on and all. The wife, Daniel's wife, is so awesome.
I love and hate the wife sometimes, but I loved because I kind of got annoyed by her at the end of season 2. She's like, no more karate, okay? And I'm like, okay, fine, bitch, okay. But then I loved how she was like basically this season was like trying to make her basically realize that karate's the only solution in this situation, which I loved. I love how she went to go in with John to confront John Kreese, slaps him across the face.
She resorts to violence, which is the one thing she didn't want.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, she tries to, try to do everything but violence. Tries to go around John Kreese by getting the landlord into it, but then that fails. Tries to get a restraining order against him, but that fails because John Kreese is like he's like a true villain. He's one step ahead of everyone in this whole series. And then finally, like, she's like, go. Yes, we have to do this.
Yes.
Bring back the Miyagi Dojo.
Again, she lets go of what her turmoil was in seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah.
She didn't want anything to do with this. She even made fun of Daniel for having the bonsai tree thing in the whole auto,
I know, yeah.
the
like,
dealership. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, but then she let all of that go and said, I understand what karate is. These kids need a way to defend themselves against people like this. Sometimes you just can't. It's such a weird message to put out there.
Right? You have to resort to violence.
I think that they did it well enough to the point where it was like, it's not like, oh, if you're being bullied at school, kick some ass.
No.
It's not that. It's more like,
yeah.
Because I was in that point too. As a kid, I was made fun of my ethnicity because I'm Guatemalan and not Mexican. And I grew up around a lot of Mexican culture and stuff like that.
Which is, I hate that so much.
Yeah.
That certain, Hispanic cultures don't like one another.
I didn't know
it's
about
so
that
weird.
until after I grew out of elementary school, but that's what I was teased for. And I remember in elementary school, my mom would always be like, don't resort to violence, don't do this, don't do that. She would go talking to the teachers, but then I would get picked on more for it afterwards.
Yeah.
So I like the way that karate or Cobra Kai is kind of giving you this message of like, sometimes you do need that self-defense in case it does get to that point.
That's your last, if you done everything and none of it has worked, then your last option is to fight.
Yes.
That's
the mom does it well enough.
Yeah.
It's like she kind of gives you that message like, all right, go kick some ass.
So it was really cool to see, and that was another thing. It was really cool, like you said, to see the wife and Allie meet for the first time, and they just hit it off so well.
Yeah, because it was so weird. We never really understood what happened to Allie and Daniel. Yeah. We just kind of like we're left to assume that they just split ways. And then no, it was like, because he got jealous that I was talking to some guy from UCLA.
He was acting like Johnny, or he was acting like Daniel. Essentially, he was just basically just being
Daniel
insecure.
was acting like Johnny.
Yeah,
he
was being insecure. Yeah, he was being insecure about himself and just realizing, I was wrong.
Exactly. So it was great to kind of see that chemistry happen.
Yeah,
but in a way, it's oh my god. I'm just realizing all these things as I'm talking about it. You said it. Daniel, in a way, was acting like Johnny.
Yeah.
And so by having the wife talk to Allie, Daniel had to relook at what he did before and saw himself in Johnny.
Yeah.
Because Allie also says that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Allie does a great way. See, the bringing in Allie, it was the smartest way to have Daniel realize that he has been acting like Johnny or acted like Johnny in the past.
Yes.
And that's the reason why they broke up.
They're more alike than what they think they are.
Yes.
Oh my god.
This show and these freaking.
I know it's COVID, but I need to shake the hand of every writer here. Right. Every producer be like, guys, oh my god. This is some like life-changing things now. I need goosebumps from this, dude. That's epic.
So, with that being said, that was a really great way to finally bury the hatchet. Johnny and Daniel are like, oh wow, we really are similar.
Yeah.
And then that was it. And then the final stone to make it realize that Johnny and Daniel have to team up is John Kreese.
Okay.
Now we can talk about John Kreese.
So, do you want to start it because this is your favorite thing, or do you want me to go?
You can go ahead, but this is the origin of John Kreese.
The origin of John Kreese.
I really love it. I will say this: I really liked how they showed us why John Kreese is the way that he is.
Off podcast, you said that you didn't feel sympathy for Kreese.
No, I did. So I liked it that so I worded it like this. I liked how they made us see how he became what he is. I still don't sympathize with him. I don't care for him. I don't feel bad for him. In one part I did was when it was revealed what happened to, what was his name? What was it? Dorothy or
the girl?
Yeah,
interest.
His love interest. That was sad. But at the same time, I loved how they showed us what happened in him, what made him the man that he is today and stuff. So that's what I liked. I liked how they realized like this is what happened to him.
So I'll say that I felt just a little bit of sympathy for him because I always love a good villain story.
Yeah.
And remember when we were doing the whole DC fandom issue? We were talking about who were the writers for the 3 Jokers?
Oh, Jeff Johns. Was it Ivan? No, Jason Fabak is the artist.
Okay, so I think it was Jason Fabak that was talking in one of the interviews for DC Fandom.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to it. It was either one of those two. But his way of saying it was like every villain is just a hero in another story.
Yeah.
Right? And so I really like that aspect because when I look at Kreese, in a way, Kreese was acting like a hero in his story. He was about to die. This guy that essentially hid everything from him to make him into a weapon is basically now used against him when their life was on the line. So in a way, I felt for Kreese because I was kind of looking at his progress going through all this. Was it technically his fault for becoming who he is? In a way, yes, because he made those choices.
Yeah, at the end where it was revealed what happened and what happened to his captain.
Yeah, he could have saved him and been like, yeah, the Americans here are great. We can get out of here alive. But he chose to basically go the wrong way.
Yeah.
But a lot of it isn't his fault. He didn't know that his love interest died. He didn't know that this was basically that they were using him to basically do something. He had good morals because he didn't want to blow up the bomb when his buddy was basically going to be captured and stuff.
Well, yeah, he wanted to be a hero. Essentially, he did want to be a hero, the good all-American Boy Scout hero.
Yeah.
That's what basically that's how he first wanted to be when he joined the army.
Yes. This is a hero story is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
This is an appropriate hero story gone wrong. He is the main villain, the main baddie. But now you have to understand that with this story being told, we now have a reason for him to be hated. We have a reason as to why Daniel and Johnny need to take him down because this guy won't learn from words. We've seen that throughout season 3 when the landlord came in and basically said, we can convince you to get out. When the wife came in and basically said, hey, this is what's going on. You need to stop all this. When Robbie comes in and converts him into Cobra Kai and basically says that this is the way. When he brings in the new students from the high school and basically encourages them to bully them, all of this has a reason now to exist. That's what's so great about this Johnny origin story. There's a reason as to why, and this buildup will pay off in season 4. So your aspects of this is because
I liked it because again it started out like he was gonna be like the hero and stuff like that. But I really like that they showed us like why he's so vicious the way he is because his captain kind of like taught him the way. Like those last moments when he was fighting the captain, he goes, the reason why you're about to die is because you keep trying to hold on to your last strand of humanity. You're trying to be too not nice, but like try to be like the good guy when you shouldn't, because this is how heroes die and stuff like that. And like you could tell that he's saying all this stuff, and that's just like he's absorbing all that because that's how he becomes, And I liked that in between that, we're also getting just how he is now, what he's trying to teach the new students at Cobra Kai now, with them trying to like one of the, because I liked it because they're really showing that he's a true villain, that he's trying, everything that either Johnny or Daniel and his wife are trying to do to get John to leave. He's basically, again, like I said, one step ahead of them every single way. When they go to in front of the city council, try to get the All Valley, he's there as well too. And then, one of the things I liked is that, they're establishing when it becomes, known in the public eye, he reverts to, well, I was a war vet, I was a Marine.
He uses it.
He uses it. It's very smart, very cunning and stuff like that. That's why I like John Kreese in this season and stuff, And then also when he's trying to do everything he can to make Cobra Kai stronger. When he tries to get Tori, he threatens the landlord, of cutting his finger off with a cigar knife, which was actually that was intense. Yeah, and then that transition when
it's a little hot dog.
Miguel's cutting the hot dog wiener. I'm like, oh my god! I was like,
so Andy didn't like that part. She actually because I get it. Yeah. I don't want to see that happen.
No,
I like just to cut the finger off. Yeah. But then like she covered her eyes. She's like, I can't watch. And then she just hears.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was just a hot dog. She's like, what? It was a clever transition.
Yeah.
It was good.
And then also bringing back the bullies from season 1 into Cobra Kai again. I like that a lot. I was like, because what's his name? It's the what's his name?
Hot shot, the hot shot dude, the hot shot bully. I forget his name. I can't remember.
Kyler. It was Kyler. It's Kyler. Where it's like, we hated that name because it was like, oh man, just name your kid either Kyle or Tyler. Why does his name have to be Kyler?
It's a transition of both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, why does that have to be Kyler?
That scene though, where they brought him in and his buddy, Kyler's buddy, kicks Assface's ass like to the ground, and basically he's like let go of Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
When Hawk takes him down, I love that fight.
That was a good fight.
That was honestly, haven't we all felt that where you just want to just beat someone's face to the ground?
Basically.
That's just out of pure anger.
Yeah.
That was relentless. Finish him. And he just goes to town.
So
What?
you're like, yeah,
Do it! Kill him now! I was literally cheering for him. I'm just like, get him, Hawk. Just kick his ass.
I mean, it was pretty
so
intense
happy.
when like he got up and his hands are just.
Oh, that's so
bloody,
great.
dude. I was
I'm
like,
sorry. I don't want to be that person, but like seeing that,
put him in a body bag.
sometimes when you see people like that, like in shows and stuff, sometimes you just want him dead. And I'm like, yes, get him. Break his face.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad because even then afterwards, Kyler was just like, oh,
Kyler Diaz, oh man,
like that is life changing. And I'm like, yes,
so
give me the blood.
So going back to John Kreese, I did like that also. They also showed that he still is in contact with one of his war buddies.
Wasn't that?
So that was the guy from part 3.
Yes.
Terry Silver, and I'm looking at it right now. So that, and I think that's obviously who he calls at the end of season 3, because he played a significant role, obviously, in Karate Kid Part 3. That he is super rich, super wealthy. He has a lot of resources, and he's always there because that's how he acted in Karate Kid Part 3. He's like, oh yeah, I'm here for John because he saved my life and stuff like that, and I always have his back no matter what and stuff. And I think, and that was really cool that they finally showed what he did. He basically saved them and freed them and stuff from the cage that they were in when they were being held by Viet Congs and stuff. So I really like that, and obviously Terry Silver's gonna, I feel like that's gonna be the next person in season 4, and I think that's what's gonna show Cobra Kai is gonna get not stronger but a bigger threat.
They're gonna have more resources than Miyagi-Do, having just balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I get you. Is that your prediction for season 4?
That's my prediction for season 4. I think also we're gonna get the what is it? What is it? We're gonna get the tournament at the end of season 4. I think, because I think it's a build up.
It would be interesting.
Unless they don't. If that's the reason they stretch it out a whole nother season, then season 5 they better have the tournament, the All Valley tournament in season 5.
I don't think they're going to make us wait a full season or a full 2 years for the All Valley tournament. I think that it is going to be this. I would love the All Valley tournament to be a multi-day event rather than one, because when the All Valley happened in season 1, it was a 1-episode thing, right?
Yeah.
So it was
it could be a 2-parter.
I would want it to be like a thing where like you get 3 episodes in season 4 trying to prep this whole thing, and then the rest of the season be like every single fight that matters, because you have a lot of important characters. You have Hawk, Sam, Tori, Miguel, who are all going to be there. Then you have Cobra Kai students as well. Assface too, probably. I know his name's not Assface, but that's pretty much what it is like at that point. Or what is it now? Fart breath or something like that?
Or something like that.
Yeah. It's something either or, right?
Or no.
No, but it's him. He even had his own development in this one. Then you have Eli as well. Like, you have all these characters that needed to fight for something. It would be a shame for it to just be 1 episode and for them to have a 10-second fight. Like, I would want them to have some sort of development and have the All Valley be that rounding of character development.
I think the 3 most important fights that we'll get in season 3 are Kyler versus whoever. I think it might be Hawk. I think we're going to get Hawk versus Kyler.
Yeah.
And then obviously we're going to get Sam versus Tori.
Opposite. Sam or Tori versus Miguel.
That could be. Ooh.
Or are they allowed to do that? Or is it?
I don't think. Yeah, I think so.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Girl can fight guy.
I don't think they're discriminated in that way.
Okay. It'd be interesting
It could be where we think it's gonna go that way, but then maybe something happens where they do that switch.
Tori
up.
versus Miguel.
That would be cool. Tori versus Miguel, and then Sam versus. I actually like that idea even more.
Woo!
I love that idea.
Let's go!
Sam versus Robbie.
Yep.
That is nice because you have the childs of each one fighting. You have Daniel's son or Daniel's daughter versus Robbie's Johnny's son.
Yeah. I see it that way now that you mention it. The other way I was seeing it
symbolism
was
of that
the symbolism
nice.
of their relationships that were developed after they broke up, them having to let that go through a fight. Because the way I see it is that Miguel would probably end up losing against Tori. Not losing, but like at a point where he has to almost lose, and Tori needs to finish him, but she doesn't have the heart to do so because of what Miguel meant to her. So she decides to turn her life around and, be away from Kreese at that point. And then Robbie and Sam are probably going to end up fighting. Sam has to overcome. She thinks that the fight is to, abolish Cobra Kai. But it's more along the lines of like Sam having to represent and bring back Robbie from Cobra Kai, and Robbie realizing that that Cobra Kai destroyed who he is.
And I think that those won't be like the final fights per se. I think if anything, we'll get obviously Johnny and Daniel taking on John Kreese, and then finally, or it could be where it could be John Kreese teaming up with obviously Terry Silver, and then it's Johnny versus Daniel. That would be really cool, honestly. That would be fun.
Going back to Kyler versus Hawk. Kyler versus Hawk versus Eli.
Ooh, handicap.
Basically. Maybe Hawk is in trouble or something like that. Eli helps him out. I don't know. There could be
maybe
some
Kyler breaks like Hawk's like leg or arm or something.
Splits his lip open or something.
Yeah, and then he's rushed to the hospital, and then Eli
finishes the fight.
Yeah, that would be cool. See this? Are you listening to this, writers?
Sony, whoever's in charge of the writing staff for Cobra Kai. My name is Bryan Quevedo. That's Rene Bravo. We run this podcast called Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour. We'd love to be on the writing staff. Just let us know. Hit us up.
Just give us that check right now. You have permission to do whatever you want. Just know that was our idea. We'll take it.
All right. To kind of wrap up this thing, we've already done our predictions and stuff. I do want to ask you, though, we mentioned this at the beginning of us talking all this. Do you believe that there might be a season 5 and 6, or you think that this is the wrap-up series finale kind of thing?
So I will say what I want first. I want season 4 to be the final season. I feel like there's nothing more you can do after this as of like story-wise progressing. Because we already have, like I said, it feels like the writers have been leading up to Johnny and Daniel teaming up. It's felt like this is what they've been wanting, and we're reaching the end of this story that they're telling us. If they do a season 5 or 6, I'm hoping if you do another season, just do season 5, and that is it.
Okay.
I don't know what story they would say. They could bring in. I mean, for all we know, they are not ignoring any sort of Karate Kid movies. They could reference Next Karate Kid, which is Hilary Swank. But again, that's a stretch. I have to rewatch Next Karate Kid to see.
You haven't seen it?
I've seen it like once when I was little.
Ago.
Yeah. It's on Netflix. I should sit down and watch it. Maybe we'll both rewatch it again, and talk about it a little bit on the next episode. Because I don't remember anything from the
it's a weird one.
Yeah. Other than I remember the beginning when Hilary Swank finds out that Mr. Miyagi was friends with like her dad, I guess, or something or her grandfather. Or something like that's the connection she has with Mr. Miyagi. I don't know what was the villains in the next one or why she had to learn karate. I don't know about any of that.
I'll say this. I do see them stretching it to season 5 and 6 now that I think about it a little bit more. The only reason why is because in season 3 we were introduced to the fact that Mr. Miyagi didn't. There was more hidden to Mr. Miyagi than what LaRusso thought, and we didn't get that full aspect of it. Remember, what's his name gives Daniel the scroll.
Oh yeah, I forgot his name.
You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
From the villain from part 2.
Yeah, which was interesting because I love he was just an asshole, and then he's just like, I'm just kidding, I ain't gonna kill you. I got you, buddy. You should have seen your face. I was just like,
I love that.
That's acceptable.
I did like that Daniel learned a new technique.
Yeah.
After all these years, he still
he chi blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
But I do see season 5 possibly leading. Like, if I wanted to see a season 5 and 6, let season 4 be the end of John Kreese. And then move on to possibly having season 5 and 6 be the uncovering truth of what Mr. Miyagi did and the reasons as to why, he was important in all of this stuff. Maybe uncover some more history or maybe some more stories. Would I want it? I mean, it's not needed, but I could see the writers if they have, if I'll put it this way. If someone handed you the biggest check you could imagine to say like, hey, we understand what you're trying to do with this property, but I don't want it to end by season 4. Would you not take that money and make another season?
You know what? If they gave me a good amount to where I could lead it in not a different direction, but kind of like swerve it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I could, if you give me that amount, I will find a way.
So there is an amount. There's
an amount.
So that's what I'm thinking is that Netflix probably paid them a good amount of money to make a season 5 or 6. And that's where I can see that going. Mm-hmm. I am on that same boat with you. Season 4 should be the last one because that is the end of Cobra Kai. Mm-hmm. That's what the show is about. Yeah, Cobra Kai.
That's the thing. Yeah.
If John Kreese is defeated, that's the end. Mm-hmm. But if they want to extend it, I can see Miyagi-Do and Johnny, along with the students, going to Japan, fighting another tournament over there while Daniel uncovers more stuff about Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. That wraps up Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
I didn't think that we would actually talk more than 45, 50 minutes about this.
Well, it's Cobra Kai, man.
It's a heavy season. There was a lot. We said it at the beginning. There was a lot to talk about. Mm-hmm. All right, so before we wrap this issue up, just a reminder, guys, depending on what platform you're listening to this, you can find us on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, as well as YouTube. If you aren't subscribed or following us on any of those platforms, please go on over to the description and follow us on all those channels there. We'll be posting content regularly on our YouTube, hopefully this year, get more stuff out there for you guys. We are thinking and trying to work on those things. We just need that time to go ahead and work on it. Yeah. Follow us on our Instagram and Twitter. Just search up Keeping Up with the Nerds. It'll be one of the first options there. Our handles are a little bit different. And as announced previously or earlier in this issue, we do have a TikTok, Keeping Up with the Nerds. Rene is the mastermind behind content creation in terms of TikTok. I'm the noob over here, so anything that is going to be created more likely comes from his head.
Okay. Yes, expect a lot of things.
Yes. And as a reminder, guys, we appreciate any and every single one of you listeners who listen throughout the whole thing. Let us know what you guys think. Comment, message us. We would shout you guys out if you guys talk to us in terms of what you guys thought of the episodes or anything you guys want to hear us talking about. We want to bring you guys in. So just let us know, guys. And thank you once again. Without you guys, without this motivation, we wouldn't be 30 issues in already, plus 2 annuals. Right. With that said, Rene, is there anything else you want to add on? Or
you said it all.
We all good?
We're all good.
Rene, make sure that this intro or this outro.
Why do you always do that?
Because you did it to me. Take us home, Rene!
Thank you, citizens, for listening to this issue of Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour. I am your host, Rene.
And this is Bryan.
Coming to you from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, recording at Undercity Comics. We thank you, citizens, once again, and hope to see you all next time.